All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and I'm going to tell you right now, saw this one coming, but it is good news nonetheless. It is being reported that Jaron Ennis will be fighting Roman Villa to headline a Showtime telecast July 8th at Bortaga in Atlantic City, New Jersey. This is the return of one of the best fighters in the world in Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, that is kind of good news, bad news, and I will get into the good news about it. I will get into the bad news about it real fast. But before I do, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for doing it. But let's get into this because it has been breaking news by Keith Idec of Boxing Scene. Roman Villa will try to knock off another undefeated welterweight next month. Boxing Scene has learned that the Venezuelan contender has accepted the most challenging assignment of his 8 years as a pro in fighting against emerging star Jaron Boots Ennis on July 28th. It'll be a 12-round, 147-pound main event at the Bortaga Hotel and Casino and Spa in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Jaron Ennis will be defending his IBF interim championship against the guy that just got I thought he got a gift decision against Speedy Rashidi Ellis in his last fight on a card that was absolutely stacked. The Gervonta Davis versus Hector Garcia fight, which saw Jaron Ennis fight Karen Kukadjian and Speedy Rashidi Ellis fight Roman Villa. Also on that card was, I do believe, was Demetrius Andrade, who fought Nicholson, and just a bunch of real high-profile guys in the middleweight classes that were on that card. Speedy Rashidi got upset by Roman Villa, but in my opinion, man, I think that Speedy Rashidi Ellis probably should have won that fight, even though Roman Villa really did come on very strong in the second half of the fight. I thought Speedy Rashidi Ellis outscored him and put enough rounds in the bank during the beginning of rounds for the beginning of the fight, to get the call. But, it is what it is. No need to cry over spilt milk. The winner of that fight winds up being Roman Villa by split decision. And now he's going to fight Jaron Ennis. And Jaron Ennis, this is a guy that I really think is a good match for Jaron Ennis. And he's also somebody that I think is a kind of a matchmaker's dream for Jaron Ennis, because unlike the last person he fought, Karen Kukadjian, who really did not engage with Jaron at all and really just kind of went out of his way, in my opinion, to try to make sure he went all 12 rounds. Never really did too much in the fight. And Jaron Ennis pretty much was chasing him around all fight. Now, Jaron Ennis won the fight. I believe he won every round of the fight, but didn't look terribly impressive because it just looked like he was following the guy around all fight. And people had the expectation of Jaron Ennis stopping Karen Kukadjian because he had been doing that to his other opponents before that. But this particular matchup, I don't see that being him having to look for Roman Villa much at all in that fight, because if Roman Villa fights anything like he fought against Speedy Rashidi Ellis, Roman Villa is going to be coming at Gervonta Davis the entire time, trying to walk him down, trying to win the fight by stoppage. From what I could see of the two fighters, though, this could be an absolute demolition, one-sided demolition by Jaron. Jaron is, I think he's every bit as good of the boxer that Speedy Rashidi Ellis is, but Speedy Rashidi Ellis really doesn't have a lot of power and really didn't have anything to keep Villa from continually moving forward on him. And with that lack of head movement, the lack of ability or desire to get away from punches, though, that's a bad recipe for Jaron Ennis, who absolutely has missiles, who's lighting off missiles when you compare his punching power to that of Speedy Rashidi Ellis. So yeah, man, I just think that this is a fight And this is a fight where Jaron is going to be he's going to be showcasing or being headlining the fight, and it is earlier in the month before the Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford fight that takes place 21 days later on July 29th. And so it could very well set him up to get a title shot at the winner of those guys, even though there is a rematch that is a bilateral rematch clause. So that has to be executed or take place before the end of 2023. So it puts him in good position to look to get a title shot maybe in his next fight, because he's now fought in January of this year. If he fights he's going to fight in July, July, the 7th month. He may actually, he could get another fight in around the February timeframe, but you know how it is in boxing. These contenders and top contenders and champions are pretty much fighting 2 times a year. So this puts him right back on pace of getting another shot in the beginning of 2023. Now, this is going to be a little bit of disappointing news for some people that were assuming or hoping that we would get a fight between Jaron Ennis and Keith Thurman next. This obviously puts that to rest. Keith Thurman also will be back in the ring. I do believe he said in August or September. So that he will be going in after the fight taking place between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. But all in all, man, a lot of action this year, man. This is really good for boxing, man, to get a Jaron Ennis fight in July. You get an Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford in July. You get Keith Thurman coming back after that. My understanding is that we're going to be hearing soon about who Deontay Wilder is going to be fighting, and whether that could possibly be an Anthony Joshua fight. There's been talk about Anthony Joshua being in negotiations to fight Tyson Fury, but I'm not going to take that too seriously, man, because, I think Tyson Fury just wants to fight somebody that's a soft touch where he gets the vast majority of the money. And that's not going to be the case with Anthony Joshua. Either way it goes, Anthony Joshua is going to be the big draw, just as big a draw in that fight. And so the monetary terms are not going to be dictated by Tyson Fury. So I don't really see that taking place. I could be wrong, obviously, but I just don't see it. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know about what you think about the fight between Jaron Ennis and Roman Villa. Who do you have winning? How do you see it playing out? I don't see it being an upset at all. I just think it's going to, the biggest thing for me is like, what round are they going to stop that fight? Right. And is Roman Villa tough enough and strong enough to withstand that? If Jaron Ennis was less of a puncher, then I may say, okay, he's got an opportunity to kind of wear Jaron down in the later rounds, but I don't see it, man. I see him getting tagged with stuff that is definitely going to he's going to take some stuff away from him, especially if Jaron Ennis does what he says he should have done against Karakuka, which was go more consistently at that body and wear him down for the later rounds. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.